Welcome to another episode of a Pick 6 at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live stream podcast. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we are going to be breaking down all the news, notes, and quotes from Raiders headquarters. I think it's really good. I was there today, and obviously it's my 9 to 5, and so what I really want to do here in the DOB, which stands for Dark Side of Beastwriter, not date of birth, but is to give a fresh perspective to you guys, because I think you guys deserve that. And again, you guys know what I bring to the table, but you may or may not know what someone else brings to the table. And again, I like to really just highlight a certain person I respect on the daily grind who I work with, right? And so again, we're all about the good vibes only. And so I'm going to reel in right now Harry Ruiz of La Nacion Raider. Harry.
I think you did a better job with the pronunciation last time, but I'll take it. I'll take it, Beast. How you doing, brother?
La Nacion. La Nacion.
La Nacion. So there you go. The second Raider. There you go. You got it, bro. You got it.
I wasn't good in Spanish too, but I did my best. Which, by the way, speaking of Spanish, back in high school, I keep it. One of the few teachers I keep in touch with is my Spanish teacher from high school, Mr. Neiman. He's actually watching this right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Saludos. Buenas noches.
He is such a big inspiration in me and doing what I'm doing today. He really is. He knew I wasn't good in Spanish, but he always thought I would be doing something like this. But let's talk about you, La Nacion Raider. It's something that you kind of built up your following in your company. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Harry Ruiz, before we go ahead and get started, and where people can find you on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it.
Yeah, so I joined the Spanish radio broadcast that broadcasts the Raider games out here in Las Vegas and also California, Reno, and other places in July 2020. And in the moment I said yes, I was like, I don't want to be just like any other radio announcer that just goes in and calls the games and that's all he does. I'm like, no, I want to cover the Raiders in Spanish. I'm Hispanic. I'm Latino. I lived in Mexico for 12 years. I know how big the Raiders are out there, and I know how big the hunger from La Nacion Raider, from the Raider Nation, is for Spanish content. And there's not a lot of content out there in Spanish. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to be on the Spanish radio broadcast, if I'm here in Las Vegas, if I'm going to be doing tons of research, and I just I bleeped myself up right there because I was like, tons of research. I'm gonna not just use that research for the broadcast. I want to put it out there for the Raider Nation as well, and put out that info and put out all the hard work done by the team and everything coming up before a game. So I created La Nacion Raider, and I was like, it's a one stop for everybody that's a Raider fan that wants info in Spanish. If you like reading information, head over to Twitter. If you like a little bit more visual stuff, I got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but it's a little bit of everything for everybody that wants information in Spanish about the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to put up your Instagram or your Twitter right now so people can find you.
Yeah, so that's where I post my stuff in Spanish, and then I got my personal accounts too. Harry Ruiz on Twitter, Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, where it's a little bit sprinkled, a little bit of everything out there as well.
Yeah, you do a really good job. Mods, could you, if DK or if DMS, if you guys can plug in Harry Ruiz stuff right now on Twitter, on this live stream, excuse me, and let's go ahead and kind of drive up his traffic here. I appreciate you guys all for doing that and really doing that. But look, we have a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, you were there today. I was there today.
Beast, I'm not going to do anything until everybody watching this video right now presses like on that. Gets that like button triggered. So
there you go. Hit
that like.
That's what I hear. You got to like. You got to thumbs this up. So we were both there today at Raiders headquarters. It's always an opportunity. It's always good to see the people that we work with. And, to be honest with you, I kind of think of you guys as family because I see more of you guys than I do my own family, especially since I moved out here. But what are your initial thoughts of, who was there and who was absent? Obviously, before we even took the field today to watch practice and observe what's going on, Coach McDaniel said, Josh Jacobs isn't here, but everyone else, we have 100% attendance, and he's not under contract, so he doesn't have to be here, so he can't get fined. There was a few other players who were missing from practice, but were still inside the building. That's Jimmy Garoppolo. Michael Mayer wasn't on the field. I didn't see OJ Howard on the field. I didn't see guys like Justin Heron on the field. I didn't see guys like Jacoby Myers, Jordan Willis, Tyree Wilson, of course. So a lot of guys, even though they're present maybe inside the building, they weren't necessarily on the field. What am I missing somebody here? Because I was watching it, trying to track down, a 16 on the field, is number 9 on the field, and I didn't see any of those guys. Is that pretty much is spot on, correct, from what we saw in our vantage point?
Yeah, actually, I'll give to Sean Reed a shout out. He posted it on Twitter. Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Jacobs, Michael Mayer, OJ Howard, Jacoby Myers, the offensive lineman Justin Heron, Tyree Wilson, and Jordan Willis were the ones that he didn't spot, which
Jordan
is pretty
Willis.
much.
There you go, Jordan Willis.
Yeah,
I
which is
forgot
pretty
Jordan
much. And I think you did mention him right now. So it's pretty much what we all noticed. And the one that I was looking forward to when we heard that it was going to be Red Zone Day was Michael Mayer. I was like, I want to see him in action in the red zone. And I had my notebook. And so they had 3 quarterbacks, and they had 2 quarterbacks over in the field nearest to us. And it was the rookie, Aiden O'Connell, and it was the second-year vet for the Raiders, Chase Garbers. And then on the other field, it was Brian Hoyer. And if you start looking into it, and it's, of course, Brian Hoyer gets to play with all the nice toys, the biggest names on the team. And I'm like, where's 87? And I had a list with all the numbers on my notebook on one field and on the other. And it was all right. Mayer ain't out here. And that was the big absence that I was like, hey, that would be huge for him to start making himself noticeable in these big situations. And most importantly, as Josh McDaniels said, you're able to evaluate tape with the players in these 3 days because it's mandatory, because it's a day that everybody has to be there and you have more time to be with the players, and they take advantage of that time watching tapes, something they can't do when it's an OTA, when it's voluntary, when you can't tell a player you have to do this, you have to do that, because it's like, hey, you only get me 4 hours a day. So that's the big difference. And I would have loved Michael Mayer to be out there. But at the same time, if he's not 100%, if he's not available to be on the field, he's in the building. He's putting in work another way.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it is concerning to kind of see how this all plays out, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, I asked Coach McDaniels today, I know it's in the grand scheme of things, what have you seen as far as the progress on the team? He's like, it's kind of hard to tell when they're in shorts. And I talked about this all about it on the live streams here from earlier on. And I said, I don't prejudge anyone, because I think you're prejudging somebody by saying someone's good in shorts. Like, I can look good in shorts. You can look good in shorts. When the pads come on and live action is live action, that's when really things start popping, right? And so I think at that point in time, that's where we're going to kind of gauge exactly where these rookies are, how well they're grasping the playbook. And on top of that, how well do they get it from shoulders up? We know the talent, the on-field talent, but how well can they grasp this schematic on both sides of the football? Because again, you have to be very smart to play under this scheme and for this coaching staff. I think that's first and foremost. Too many people overlook, is this guy a scheme fit? But more importantly than being a scheme fit, in order to even be considered a scheme fit, you have to be very smart. And I think that's the Raider way. And I'm really eager to see how that plays out. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We have a question here for one of our Al's Go says, Beast, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, what's your confidence level in this regime? If 5 is being average, I would say 7. I would say a good 7, because again, I'm not going to say an 8, because that would be like, again, like that would be like one of those things like, whoa, 8's really, really good for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 7 is really good too. Don't get it twisted. But I think I say 7 because of, last year and then going into this year, there is some optimism, but I'm not going to say average. I think if you were to ask anyone, it would be a 5 or a 4 or even a 3, because they don't like Coach McDaniels. We see all the memes. We all see all the stuff that's trending. Or Dave Ziegler. They go hand in hand. But again, what are your thoughts? What would you give it, this regime?
Yeah, I'm going the same way, above average. 7, 8. I'm up there. I like Ziegler. I like McDaniels. And people are judging them because of the wins and losses last year. But me following the Raiders all the years I've followed them, I'm like, guys, there were those losses where they gave up a double-digit lead or a late lead. It's like they were in those games. When you look back at previous years, those games were whoopings. They were getting taken care of very easily. And now the Raiders, they were in those games. And now if you make a decision change one way or another, and that game could have been a win. And you could talk about 5 games being that way. And if you change 3 of those games, the Raiders would have been in the playoffs. But it's woulda, shoulda, coulda. And what I'm looking at right here is like they're closer to being a good team than closer to being a bad team. So I'm confident, but at the same time, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I'm a person that's an optimist, but in the Raider Nation, and deservedly so, there's a lot of people that are negative, that they're like, no, they always look at worst case scenario, because unfortunately the franchise hasn't been able to have the success that the fans deserve. So hopefully we get a good season in this year, the Raiders do, and then that changes the perspective for everybody. But right now, it's like McDaniels, if they ask him, it's like, which left or right? If he says left, a lot of people, oh, right. If he says right, a lot of people are going to say left. He's in a lose-lose situation because fans aren't big fans of his. He just needs to win, and that changes everything.
All right, so there's a lot of people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up, like Harry Ruiz said. Let's go ahead and drive up the traffic here. But look, yeah, I agree with you 110% on this. It is an interesting dynamic when people try to throw shade at, and that's the thing about it. I know last year was my first year, and you guys were going to the playoffs, and here I am, and new regime pops in, and they're like, oh, we didn't go to the playoffs, and now it's all Coach McDaniel's fault. The sky is falling. It's like, any fan base gets really emotional when things don't go their way. And then in hindsight, they say, oh, this is why things didn't go our way, because they didn't listen to me. But I like the fact that Coach McDaniels doesn't listen to the noise. I like the fact that GM Dave Ziegler doesn't listen to the noise. And I think if you're going to go out swinging, I like how they're going to go out swinging in their way. They're not going to go with a narrative that's being pushed by some people because, oh, we lost Derek Carr, and so now it's this, all is lost, and Jimmy Garoppolo's here. He's damaged goods now. And oh my gosh. And you see all the memes that pop out of that. So it's just like, the season hasn't even started yet. And I feel like the nation is just already writing Coach McDaniels off the, like, hey, let's just move on. And it's like, that's just not fair. I talked with my guy, Randy Cross, who was a great 49er, arguably the best 49ers offensive lineman to ever play. He says, he understands it's not fair, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It's the NFL. So I see both sides of it. And look, I'll keep it 100. So that's my thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and talk about something else, right? Let's go ahead and talk about Divine Diablo, right? So obviously we all knew reports were coming out. There was whispers. I was hearing it that he kind of bulked up. And I said, for me, it was one of those things. I interviewed Divine Diablo last year, right? And got to know him very, very well. Very well. And so we talked about him and being hit what's called body analysis. And it's something that these edge defenders, he wouldn't be considered the edge, but a tweener, I would say a hybrid between a defensive end, outside linebacker, or off-ball linebacker, where the case may be. These types of guys, when they get hit with body analysis, you really have to be careful because their frame can only fill out so much. And if you fill them out so much, and now you're compromising at the expense of their speed. So last year when I interviewed him, I wanted to bring it up, but it was just like, he answered a lot of questions. One of the things he told me that always resonated with me was the fact that he said, when we played the Niners, so I told him, I'm coming from Niners. He said, oh yeah, when we played you guys in the preseason, he said, I got my butt whooped. Literally, he said, I got my butt whooped. Like, it was not even an easy thing because I was light in the butt, basically. Now he added weight. So that was year one, going into year one in training camp. Now he's going into year two into training camp, and he bulked up from 225 to 238, now coming down to 234. What did you think of Divine Diablo's press conference today, and what are your thoughts of him moving forward?
No, he's a very focused guy, somebody that's putting in the hard work that unfortunately wasn't able to complete last year. And it was one injury, another. The forearm was against Jacksonville was the one that he didn't think it would be season ending, but then he gets it checked out and it's like, it is more than likely being a season-ending injury, and that's an opportunity that he lost of continuing his play throughout the season. And in the NFL, you can't compare those game snaps to being able to just be at practice and putting in the work. It's completely different. So that's an opportunity that he wasn't able to do. And I don't think he's going to suffer much when it comes to speed. If he was a linebacker his whole career and this was his first opportunity and he was continuing to play the position and now he's bulking up, then I think it would be different. But he's a safety. Safeties are faster guys. Yeah, I think getting these extra 10 pounds in his body and being stronger, that's actually going to help him way more to be able to take care of business with those big tight ends that come through up there in the middle and then being able to chase those running backs. I think it's a good position because you looked at Denzel Perryman and Beast. I mean, heck, you're a bodybuilder. Denzel was built as a Mack truck.
Yeah.
Divine looks good, but he doesn't look that big. And Divine is a taller guy as well. So it's like I like the way that he looked. And it's like, hey, these guys, they take care of their bodies more than 90% of the human beings in planet Earth. So it's like I trust that they're going the right way and that Divine can be able to construct a big 2023 season.
Yeah, there's 37 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the live stream with Harry Ruiz, everyone from La Nacion Raider. Let's get those likes up. We have more people watching it than likes, so let's get those likes up and support your boy Harry Ruiz and myself on this Pick 6 at 6 live stream. We greatly appreciate it. And again, go follow my guy La Nacion Raider, aka Harry Ruiz, on Twitter. And my guy's already posted up on YouTube. You guys can go to YouTube right now. And the link is in the comment section. All right. So we talked about Divine Diablo today. I think that was the biggest news outside of Josh Jacobs, not reporting but not being there because obviously he hasn't signed his tender. What is your gut feeling? Forget what the media is saying. Forget what I'm saying. Forget what everyone else is saying. What is ultimately your gut feeling at the end of the day? Do you think he will sign on that tender? Number one, there's three options here. Do you think he signs the tender? Do you think he holds out, or do you think he gets that contract extension?
I think it's either one or three. I don't see Josh Jacobs holding out. I don't see him missing out on the opportunity of playing in the year after he had his contract season where he balled out and he was the leading rusher in the NFL. I don't see that happening, and it would just be, okay, another chip on his shoulder, another opportunity to be able to go and show the world what he can do. And if he's playing on a one-year contract, it's like, all right, if you franchise tag me again, you're going to have to pay way more money than that. And then if not, he's going to be getting the contract he deserves. But that's if he plays with the franchise extension. They just got to hit that sweet spot. If it's going to be the extension, the running back position, you look at other teams and it's like Kansas City. They had Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th rounder out of Rutgers, be their starting running back most of the season. And it's like, it's a position that unfortunately doesn't have the same value that it had in the Terrell Davis days in the 90s, where it was like a star running back can make or break your team. Nowadays, it's like, if you have a good guy, well, you look over McCaffrey, he got traded. Derrick Henry, he was more than likely going to get traded. And those are guys that you're like, 4 years ago, you would never think they're going to get traded. Heck, 4 years ago, they were signing big extensions. And now they're just trade chips because they're like, we don't want to pay a running back that much money. So if the Raiders and Josh are able to find that sweet spot, that would be fantastic. If not, I think he's going to play with the franchise tag. I don't see him holding out. You know what happened with Le'Veon Bell. You don't want to be in that same situation.
That is a great point. See, this is good knowledge. Le'Veon Bell, you're going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and what happened when you had that career year and you want to be paid as both a running back and a wide receiver. And then what happened? His career went downhill after that.
Now he's boxing. He's doing celebrity boxing. And it's like, he can't be making $10 million off that. That $10 million per fight, that's a big time boxer. Le'Veon, he's a couple $100,000 and that's it as a boxer.
It's funny. It's funny. I was watching on YouTube Sunday NFL Countdown. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But I was going back in 1996 and with Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. And you look at the stats and they always highlight the rushing numbers first. So this is back in like you said, the Terrell Davis days, right? So I'm echoing what you're saying. And it's very true. You go back and you look like, gosh, dang, man. Like, and then it's like a receiver has like 3 receptions for 66 yards. And that was like a top receiver back then. It's crazy how that kind of flip the script.
And nowadays you look at Justin Jefferson's numbers and those are Madden numbers. Those are video game numbers. You look at Devontae Adams and you're like, wow, the NFL just has shifted to be air heavy game, and that unfortunately has hurt the stock for guys like Josh Jacobs and other great running backs in the league. Shout out to my boy Samoan Raider. We were talking about him.
Raider in the house.
We were talking about him today over at Raiders headquarters. Your name was being thrown around, Samoan, in a good way, brother. Shout out, Oos.
Yeah, we talked about you, Samoan, at Raiders headquarters. I love Samoan. Give this guy a follow too. Not like he needs it. He's like the biggest YouTuber. But
yeah, right. He's the one that has to be. Be like, please, tell people to follow us.
Anyways, but no, shout out to big Samoan Raider. But no, let's give the Oos Nation podcast some love. So mods, if you guys can go ahead and post up their Instagram, their social. Let's get Mr. Fitz in there. And Samoan Raider, let's give him some love. Samoan Raider, I mean, he's good vibes, man. And we talked about him today at Raiders headquarters, coincidentally. We brought him up.
Good dude. Shout out Raider Nation. You guys rock.
Yeah. Nothing but good vibes. Nothing but good vibes. Here's the thing. So Boogie here in the chat says, guess Hondo said Jacobs wants to be here, just wants more guaranteed money, more than Ziegler would like to pay. And I talked about that like 2 months ago. And I talked exactly about the dynamics of what that contract would look like. And so I think that's going to hold up. I think that beast receipt's going to hold up on the guarantee money, what it would cost to take. And also, people tend to forget, is it fully guaranteed? Because again, there's protection for injury. There's protection for a lot of different clauses that you can have in there. It could be skill, it could be performance. So all those three different factors. And when you talk about fully guaranteed or non-guaranteed money, and then is it a front loaded or a back loaded deal? So if you're Josh Jacobs and you're in the premium position spot where you understand that the running back position this is your second contract. And yes, I'm in line. I think Josh Jacobs deserves every penny. I mean, if I was his agent, I would tell Josh Jacobs, go get yours, man. You deserved it. But at the end of the day, it's up to Dave Ziegler. Is he going to value that? Because like you said, Isaiah Pacheco, you look at Breece Hall from the New York Jets. You look at Kenneth Walker, who they just drafted out of Seattle Seahawks. You can find running backs later on in the rounds. But here's the thing about that. How many Josh Jacobs are there in the NFL? There's only one Josh Jacobs. All pros do not grow on trees. So again, in an era where the running back may be considered not a premium position, depending on the scheme, you can flip the script and say it is, because again, Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager, and that's not necessarily saying he's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. What I'm saying is, without Josh Jacobs in the equation, don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have the same success that he would otherwise have without Josh Jacobs in the equation.
Yeah, when Josh Jacobs is out there on the field, everybody has his eyes on him because he's dangerous. He's a guy that can break up big runs. And heck, look at the Seattle Seahawks game where he had that big 80-plus yard touchdown run in overtime. And it's like people knew he was going to get the ball, and he still was able to break that big run. But at the same time, playing devil's advocate, if I may, Beast, you go over, and this year was his first year where he played every game in the season. It was 12 touchdowns. That's his career high. He tied the pandemic season 2020, and then 2021 that was a low year for him. So when people are like, why didn't he give him the 5th-year option? It's like, well, the 2021 season wasn't that great. It was good. It was above average, but it wasn't great. And then he, of course, goes out there and just blows everybody out of the water with 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns last year. So it's like, okay, he's showing what he can do. And even when you talk about receptions, 400 yards on receptions, that's 2,000 scrimmage yards. It's him and it's Marcus Allen, the two Raiders that have done it.
Go.
So it's okay. You look at it, and he had a great season. Now, can he replicate it? Can he do that constantly besides just replicating it in 2023? That's why right now there's that give and take. It's like, all right, you want more? We think this is a number. There has to be a compromise if there's going to be a deal agreement. If there's not an agreement, he can play under that franchise tag and keep going over forward. So.
Someone says early, did they finally see my application? Just kidding. Appreciate you guys. Much love, Usos. Yeah, that's my Us right there, man. Oh, man. Good vibes only, man.
Am I an honorary Us? Because I said earlier today that Beast was an honorary Latino because at the end of the day, it was like pretty much only Latinos in the press room except Beast. So I was like, Beast, you're an honorary Latino right now. So can I be an honorarius?
Yep. That was hilarious. It was true though, huh? I was the only non-Latino.
You and Vinny.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Vinny is Italian, so I was like, yo, I ain't gonna mess around with Vinny being Italian. So I'm like, Beast, I'm comfortable with it. Telling Beast he's an honorary Latino right now. Yeah, but it was Paloma, Paul, Heidi, myself, and I'm missing somebody else. But I was like, damn, there's a lot of Latinos out here today. Omar, shout out to my primo, Omar Ruiz, who isn't my cousin, but we got the same last name, so I'll call him primo.
Yeah, Paloma was there, sitting in the back. PG was there. Vic there. Vic was still there.
Vic, Argentinian.
There you go.
It's actually Vic Tafur, but everybody calls him Tafer.
Oh, it's Tafur.
Yeah, he told me that, so I'm running with it.
All right.
Argentinian. So that's true. Vic was the other one there. I knew I was missing somebody.
Yeah. It was a fun day today.
It always is, bro.
It always is a fun day.
Any day you're alive is a fun day.
That's very true. That's very true. No, you know why it was a fun day? Or a better day? Because the weather was not scorching 115-degree heat. We had that breeze.
Oh, and shout out to Raiders PR. They took a canopy out there for the media today, so that was cool. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm like sitting all the way high in the stands because you get a little bit of shade for like 40 minutes. So I'm just sitting up there and I'm getting the view. I actually on Thursday, you're calculating Daniel Carlson the distance for the field goals. I'm up there and I can see it perfectly. I was like, he's hitting for 52. Come on, Beast, sit up here.
You know what? Okay, I was gonna go up there today. But I thought you were in the zone because you had your headphones in. I was like, oh, maybe you're in the zone. No,
so I was by myself, so I'm like, I had my headphones on me, so
I was like, dang, man. And you had to see someone with the headphones, and you look serious too. I was like, oh man, this guy must be thinking long and hard about something. I was actually gonna come up there with you.
You're family, bro. You're family, bro. You can always come up wherever I'm at. You can always come up.
I did because I saw you. I was like, I don't want to say. I was like, oh wait, maybe he's in the zone. Maybe he got something going on in his head.
So I missed 3 answers of McDaniel's press conference as I was driving over to headquarters. So I was like, I need to finish listening to the press conference to be able to have all my notes done. So I just re-listened the press conference while watching practice.
Yeah, that was fun. So here's the thing: did anyone stand out to you in mandatory minicamp? And I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm transparent with it. I have bad eyes to begin with, and they're on the far field. I can't really see much. And they're in shorts, so I'm not going to judge. I never judge. You know, this is like my 11th, 12th year doing this. I never judge a person in board shorts because of the fact that I think you're doing, and I can only speak for myself. You're not really getting a clear picture of exactly how well someone's doing. I think once the pads come on and live action takes place, that's where you really get the meat and potatoes of, okay, this guy's getting it. Because again, you have to remember, speed kills in the NFL. And also functional strength kills in the NFL. And those, you can't have any one of those two. They're not mutually exclusive, but you have to have both in order to be fundamentally sound at the point of attack on both sides of the football, and also being disciplined and coming off your stems and so forth. Because now you're, in college, a lot of times you're playing against off zone coverage, right? Or some type of zone coverage there in a spread formation as a wide receiver. So now that you're going up against bigger physical defensive backs who can press you at the line of scrimmage, it's a different ball game. How do you come off your stem? Because Trey Tucker, let's face it, he's lined up against slides. He's going to be lined up off the line of scrimmage, but at the end of the day, you can still get your hands on them within 5 yards. So what is your take on these guys? Maybe you saw something that I didn't because my eyes are bad. So give the DOB family some insight there if you have any.
Yo, speed kills. Rest in peace, Cliff Branch. You got to bring it. You got to say it. Cliff Branch, legend. That's his motto. So speed kills. Shout out to him. Rest in peace. Jacorian Bennett. I really liked what I saw from the 4th rounder from the University of Maryland today. Actually, after breaking a pass during practice, all the offense had to do push-ups. And I was like, yo, hey, he's making plays out there. And then continuously during practice, I kept watching him and staying in stride with some of the fastest players on the team, which I know also it's mandatory minicamp, it's OTAs. Fastest players on the team aren't going to run 100%, but he's staying up there with him. So I'm like, yo, you know what? This guy might end up earning a chance out there on the field. And I think so I'm telling anybody that will listen, I'm super excited about preseason this year. Like this year, we got more players to keep our eyes on during preseason compared to last year when the Raiders didn't have a 1, when the Raiders didn't have a 2, when their highest draft pick was an offensive lineman. And it isn't as sexy to watch an offensive lineman play as it is to watch a cornerback or a tight end like the Raiders do have this year in Michael Mayer. So I think preseason is going to be very interesting, especially the lone home game for the Raiders in the preseason being the first one. I think that's going to be super fun to watch. And Jacorian Bennett, 29, is a guy that I'm keeping my eye on because I like what I saw from him in previous training sessions in the OTAs. But today in mandatory minicamp, I think the kid showed a lot about the potential that he has. And I hope the Raiders end up being praised for that draft pick, because right now everybody's talking about Tyree, everybody's talking about Michael Mayer, but I like what I've seen from Jacorian Bennett. And as a 4th rounder, let's see if they end up hitting it. Another 4th rounder from 2019 Beast, Max Crosby. So I'm not saying he's going to be Max Crosby, but I'm saying, these guys have a chip on their shoulders and they want to ball out. So I hope Jacorian is another example of that.
I really like Christopher Smith. I'm not one of those guys that pushes a narrative that I don't believe in. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to tell you I'm wrong with the Beast receipt. But I think Christopher Smith is going to be one of those guys who is going to make not only a splash on special teams as a special teams ace in the coverage game. I think that's something that's going to go unspoken. And I think that same goes with Jacorian Bennett. Both those guys are going to make a splash on special teams in the return game, in the kicking game. So let's start there. I think they're going to have a big role there. I think that's already carved out because I can kind of see what you're talking about. I can only see so much because my eyes are bad. But what I could see is, you're right. Everything that on Jacorian Bennett, it seems like he's making some plays where you can kind of say, okay, maybe they're onto something here. And this is their job, right? So they would know best, right? You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. So, but my guy is Christopher Smith. I'm really keen on that guy, number 42. I think he's going to be one of those guys. If he doesn't start right away, he will end up being the starter midway through the year for sure.
And you know what, Beast? I mean, would I love to see Tyree Wilson out on the field? Of course. Would I love to see Michael Mayer out on the field? Of course. Would I love to see Jimmy G on the field? Of course. But not having them on the field today during first day of mandatory minicamp, that even lets us as reporters to be able to focus on other players out at the Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center at Raiders HQ. And I'm like, Jacorian Bennett, he definitely stole my sight. I was like, yo, that guy, he's doing stuff out there that I'm liking that I didn't see in previous camps, that I didn't see in previous OTAs. And I'm like, let's see if these Raiders are able to build on blocks and be like, yo, OTAs, they're getting their stuff in. And now mandatory minicamp, everybody's out there. Keep showing what you got. And then the perfect thing is after practice, they're able to go to the video session and be able to watch it with the coaches, and the coaches telling them what's wrong, what's right, what they got to keep on doing, what they got to fix. So, yeah, they should do that fun for you. No, you know what? You can go on Amazon. You can get some for $40-$50. You don't have to get like those hunting ones where you're like seeing everything.
I'll just ask Hondo for a pair of his.
So I have my pair that I use for games, which I usually take to practice, and I got my backup pair, which
You know what? I got some back in the Bay Area, my good ones, because when I went to the 49er games, my dad has some. I gotta ask my dad. They're like, you can see, it's like high tech stuff. I might bring those out. But no, getting back to it, it is hard for me to see from that vantage point, and I'm short. People think I'm tall just because I have muscles, but no, I'm actually a short little mini me. Like I'm not the tall. I'm like the shortest, not smallest.
I can't say that's not true because it is.
It is true. I'm like the shortest one of the guys. Obviously, I'm taller. But of all the guys, I am.
Yeah, it's almost like you and Vic Tafer are almost right there in the same same level. Nah, Vic is a beast.
Oh, that guy's
Nobody
huge.
messes with Vic.
Dude, that guy, the first time I laid down, I was like, man, this guy, I would not be in a backyard brawl with this guy.
Dude, he last year after a game, I was chatting with somebody by the cafeteria area where we eat.
Yeah.
And then somebody body checked me, and I felt like the world was crumbling. I was like, what the hell just happened? And it was Vic. But he did it in a friendly way. Like as a Latino, I'm like, yo, if you're busting somebody's, you know what, it's because they're your friends. If you ignore somebody and you don't talk with somebody, it's because you don't like them. Yeah. So Vic doing that with me, I'm like, yo, that means we cool, and we are. He's a cool dude.
No, Vic is.
But awesome Vic is like 6'7", and Beast is not.
I think Vic is awesome. I have so much admiration and respect for Vic. One thing that I will notice too, and I think when Vic walks in the room, and a lot of other beat writers, PG and Vinny, we all have this aura about us, where you walk into a room, instantly, like, oh man, this guy, he earned that like you can just feel what I'm talking, the respect factor, and I totally respect that. Like I think Vic is great at his job, and that's why when people are calling out Vic, they're not, they took Jalen Carter off the board, and I was like, hey man, like. I'm rolling with Vic on this. Like I'm not gonna doubt Big Vic. Like and then people, what do you? I'm like, think about it logically. I went through the whole thing, and who ends up being right? Vic, right? Because Jalen Carter was on the board. They passed up on Jalen Carter. So and they're not gonna show their hand. They're not gonna say, oh yeah, Jalen Carter's officially off the board because now you're diminishing the value of the pick at number 7. So I don't think that'd be fool's gold if GM Jay Ziegler did that. So that was a really cool story, but. I know you got to get going. Look, is there anything else that you want to talk about what you got going on before I let you go?
If you want, I still got an extra 10, 15 minutes. So
here we go.
Yeah.
Right, let's keep going. Boogie said, and a step ladder wouldn't hurt. So I need a step ladder too. I need binoculars and a step ladder. I should get those stilettos, dude.
No, Beast, don't do it.
Or those little,
dude, just sit where I sit, and you get you don't get the obstructed view of the players like on the sidelines. You just go a little bit higher, and you get a better view. But you know what? That's something I learned. Like I remember my first game in Oakland. I was in Mount Davis. Yeah, and that's like the highest part of the stadium, and you get to watch the view like you watch it on TV. Yeah, but then like 2 seasons later, I'm sitting in the front row, and you got the whole bench for who was it? The Rams blocking your view, and it's like, damn, you're not watching the game as you want to, but it's like, yo, if you want to sit front row, that's the consequence. You don't get to see everything. If you want to be down on the field like you are, you're not going to see everything. But if you get a little bit higher, then location-wise, you're going to be able to see more than where you are. So there's pros and cons with everything.
That is very true. All right, we've been on for 42 minutes. You guys like the vibe that me and Harry Ruiz are bringing on this Pick 6 at 6 live stream? Give this video a thumbs up. And definitely follow my guy, Harry Ruiz from La Nacion Raider. See, I'm getting better.
You got it, bro. That's why it caught me off guard that you already had it good and then you switched over to the wrong. But it's like you overthought it.
Yeah.
You're good, bro. You're good.
I effed up, bro. That's my bad, man.
You're good. Don't worry about it, man.
So let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about something else that I think. Oh, J Patriot says, thanks for the time. Great insight, bro. They like you.
I think he's telling you, bro.
Look at Boogie says, bro, Beast in heels.
That's why I was like, don't even bring it up, Beast.
What's funny though? That's the thing though. It's like I've been told I was short, like that nothing bothers me anymore. Nothing bothers me anymore.
So I went to a wrestling event I covered 10 days ago at T-Mobile Arena, and the company's champion, AEW, right there, their champion is a bad guy. It's a heel. Right. He's a villain. So he was insulting reporters that were asking him questions. So I was about to ask him a question, introduce myself, and he was like, damn, you got huge ears. Like Dumbo. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, I've literally heard it all my life, and now I make jokes about it, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, if I don't care about it, and you want to say something about it, guess what? It ain't hurting nothing. So get out of here.
No, it's all fun and games though. Like that's the thing is like people think because I'm big and they think I'm like 5'10", 6 foot. I'm like, no, man. So yeah, that is interesting. But
how tall are you? Tell the people.
5'5".
5'5".
5'5". Um, the funny thing about all
Hey,
this,
best things in life come in small packages.
oh, that's what GM Trent Baalke told me. He's like, "Hey, man, Dynamite comes in all shapes and sizes." Because he told me I was vertically challenged. Like, but Dynamite comes in all, and I started laughing. But no, that's one thing that I will always remember from Trent Baalke. But bless his heart in Jacksonville. But here we are. We're talking about the Raiders today at mandatory minicamp. Let's talk about some of the things that you got going on in terms of like what is outside of the Raiders. I mean, I know you do a lot of coverage for the Aces. You do a lot of cover. I mean, Vegas Golden Knights, the VGK, Vegas Golden Knights. What do you got going on this week?
Yeah, no. So Thursday is going to be a crazy game. So I don't know if it was Chris or if it was somebody saying it's like, yo, it's super cool that you get to cover the Raiders and super fun job. It's like, yo, at the end of the, yeah, it's cool, but it's a job and you got to work your tail off to get everything done. Like, for example, on Thursday, I have soccer practice that I got to cover for the Las Vegas Lights, and it's at 7 a.m. And I think I'm going to be leaving Cashman Field in downtown at 9:30 to get to HQ, Raiders HQ, by the time that we're allowed in, which is a little bit past 10:15. And then after that, I have a hockey game that I'm on the broadcast for at 4:30, and I'm doing pregame, intermission, and postgame coverage on the official Spanish radio broadcast out here in Las Vegas on 1460 AM. So it's like this season, this time of the year, everybody. So like Vic, I was talking with him and he's like, it's been a while. How are you? Or Levi, I was talking with him and I'm like, it's the time of the year where everything is just crossing and it's like everything is happening at the same time. I got soccer, which is one of my part-time jobs, but season goes from March through October. And then I got Raiders football, which like tomorrow I'm on Raider Nation Radio from noon to 2. And I got to be on it and not just hoping. I'm like, you know what? I'll check Beast's Twitter and see what he says and run with that. It's like, no, you got to be there. If you have access to it, do it. Not just be lazy and be like, I'll find out about something later and run with that. Like radio tomorrow and then Thursday, jam-packed day. I got like 4 monsters ready in my fridge because I know I'm going to need all of them. So it's just the busy time of the year, brother.
Well, that's the grind that you're in, man. And I think that's the good part about being here in Vegas is the opportunity never runs dry. The opportunity never runs dry. And it's one of those things where I love it. Like I never would have went to a East-West Shrine Bowl college all-star game if it wasn't here in Vegas. I never would have covered a Pro Bowl if it wasn't in Vegas. The Super Bowl's here in Vegas. Never been to a Super Bowl yet. So, I mean, or covered a Super Bowl yet. So, all these things will be very fun because it's in Vegas. So I think that's cool. Alex Go says Beast can be a scat back. Hey, that's true, man. I got the speed. I got that 4.3 speed. 4.4. Actually, it was a 4.42. I ran the 4.42 40-yard. I was pretty fast. My dad's a huge track star. He ran the 4.3 in the 4.3s. My dad was freaking fast. He still holds track records from his high school.
That's nice.
Yeah, hurdles. I think he has holds a hurdles record. Big track star. You would never have guessed, but this guy's big. That's where I get my genetics from, I think. All right. So how much time you got left?
Give me I'm good with another 10.
Jeez Louise. You love being on here. Look at you.
Of course, bro. It's all up. It's it's all good.
All right, so let's go follow Harry Ruiz at La Nacion Raider. We've been on for 48 minutes and 20 seconds. Give this video a thumbs up. There's 41 of you guys watching right now. So if you guys want to help out the DOB here, and you guys like the guests that I bring on, like Harry Ruiz, like Vinny Bonsignori, who's on here, we're gonna try to get Honda. We're gonna try to get all the beat writers on here, and I think that's a good way to kind of create the engagement, not just from my flavor, because I think everyone brings a unique flavor, and I think I want to highlight that. Because it is important. You know, people know what I bring to the table because they follow me, but they don't know what you bring to the table, or they may or may not, right? Because I mean, like we could have some of the mutual followers, but then maybe someone doesn't know about you. So that's why I think it's really important that we highlight the people that we work with. So then you can kind of gauge, hey, I never knew about Harry Ruiz. I never knew about Tashawn Reed. I never knew about, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, and it's the same way. I'm not sure, but I think one of your first interviews on Raider Nation Radio, I brought you on board with the JT the Brick Show. And it's like, yo, Beast does a fantastic job. Let's have him on. If he's available, if he can, Let's bring him on. So it's like it's the same thing. It's like it would be boring if you have the same person talking for 2 hours in a row. So like me, I'm on the radio. It's like, yo, you bring in other people and hear their opinions, hear what they got to say. And like, for example, tomorrow on Raider Nation Radio, I'm going to have Jennifer Stalin, who used to be a Raiderette, who did it for 3 years, but she's also like a Raiders reporter for some of their social media stuff. And now she's doing a show with the Las Vegas Aces, and she's been hosting football games with the Nighthawks, hockey games with the Silver Knights. She did it with the Golden Knights as well. She was the in-game host for the XFL. So it's like hearing everybody's stories. If we have a platform, that's a great opportunity to just highlight people in our community, in our spaces that we're lucky to know because we're working these games. Right. But it's like, yo, not everybody gets to know people up close and personal. Like you and I, we sit next to each other at Raiders headquarters.
You have a nameplate now. You have a name. Harry Ruiz has a nameplate.
Yes, I still think that you had to do with that because I literally said on Thursday, I'm like, yo, I'm the only one without a nameplate of all the usual suspects.
No, I didn't. I promise I didn't have anything to do with that. That's all you. That's hard work. Harry, it's just hard work.
Just being out there.
No, you put in the work. I think people notice that. No, honestly, I had nothing to do with it. So quit smiling.
Hey, I see that laugh, and I'm like, yeah, right.
No, truthfully.
Yo, it's at that table on the side. It doesn't have any names. It's just like the main table's on the middle, and I actually prefer that side view because you can move in and out a little bit better than if you're stuck in the middle. It's like, no,
you're right.
And plus, I'm right next to the snacks.
I know. That's why I said,
which is a pro and a con, because this is the con, and the pros is like, hey, I'm always fed.
Yeah.
Even though there's people that complain about the snacks, I'm like, yo, they're free. I'll take them.
Dude, the Niners don't even give us snacks. This is not throwing shit at the Niners. I love the Niners. Okay, love the PR. I love everyone there. But they don't give us snacks. So, like, the fact that the Raiders aren't even giving us snacks, I'm like, wow, this is like gold. Like, for me, I'm about it. Like, if anyone's super.
Oh, I saw those draft meals too.
Dude, bro.
I was like, I was at the draft party, and then I was doing live shows as the draft was happening. But then I was seeing the draft meal. I was like, you know what? I might have to postpone these shows and just go for the draft meal.
I've never, and again, not throwing shit at the Niners. Give us some bomb ass food, okay? They give us like this, like Michelin rated stuff. But the Vegas Raiders, I never had a meal so delicious. King crab legs, first of all. King crab legs.
I'm not a seafood guy, so
ahi tuna. But the what was it? The ribeye or whatever that steak that we had. Oh my god.
So I didn't. Okay. On draft day.
Yeah, draft day.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that at the stadium. I'm not a big fan of them like doing the food of the visiting team.
You don't like that? I think that's great.
I'm like, so I worked a soccer game there, and they had like Mexican food, and I was like, yo, if they had this for every Raider game, I'd be so happy. You know me, Beast. I eat out at the tailgates.
Of course. Yeah.
And then I come back in, and I'm like, yo, it's just I might grab something for dessert at halftime, but I'll eat a hot dog inside the stadium. I'm not a big fan of like when they bring in New Orleans food and this and that. I'm like, nah, I'll skip that.
Really? Oh, you're right. Because I never up in the press box. I never do see you eat that food. Me,
I'll eat a hot dog, but besides that, not much.
On the left hand side, you just go to the left hand side,
and that's closest to my booth L.
There you are. It's right there. You're right.
L for Latino.
That's very true. I always liked it when the New England Patriots came. You got the New England clam chowder. You got the lobster mac and cheese. Man, I'm all about that, bro.
You see, I don't like seafood, so I would skip all of that.
Oh, man.
Even if it were free.
Well, let's see. Who do we have on the schedule that's at home that we can be? Oh, then, well, Niners come here for the preseason game. So we might get some sourdough clam chowder, some Pure 39 food all up in the house. I don't know.
I'll pass on that.
Yeah. But
let's see. Raiders opponents 2023. So at home, let's see if there's anything interesting on the schedule. So Denver, Kansas City, LA, and then Cleveland, Atlanta, Carolina, Pittsburgh.
Okay, so what the heck are we gonna get? Oh, Primantis. Maybe they'll have some Primantis.
Wait, shit. Sorry, crap. That's 2024.
Oh,
not bad.
Dang, you
some
look at
reason.
that. Look at you. You're already you're forward thinking.
No.
Sign him up, Coach McDaniels. Sign him
Let
up
me
for the
see.
analytics.
2023. So San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, New England. There's your clam chowder. Chicago. No. Chicago's road. New York. Kansas City, Minnesota, LA, Denver.
We had Minnesota last year for the preseason game.
Yep. Heck, we had most of them last year.
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it.
San Francisco, we had them last year.
Right.
I think Pittsburgh, Green Bay, they're the new ones. New England was here last year.
Yeah.
Both New York teams are new, 4. So just 4 teams coming to Vegas out of the 10. So
interesting.
You want to talk Renfrow?
Sandra, yeah, he says looks like Renfrow is staying. I'm still kind of on the fence on this one. No one's telling me this. I'm just saying, speaking for myself, for what it's worth. I think it's 50-50 that he gets traded. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a bigger chance of him staying with the Raiders.
Okay.
I don't see the Raiders just letting go of an asset. Like, what could you get for Renfrow right now?
Yeah.
It's not like a team is going to want to give up a 1 or a 2. And heck, since the Raiders, no pun intended, raided the Cowboys for a first-round draft pick for Amari Cooper or their big trade for Khalil Mack, how many times have you seen teams trading? The Raiders last year, they traded for Devontae Adams, and all they gave up was a 1 and a 2, which, it's worth a lot. But at the same time, if you talked about trading a guy like Devontae, the best wide receiver in the league a couple of years ago, teams were giving up multiple 1s, multiple 2s to get somebody like that. So I don't think the Raiders would do a trade like that right now. If he's healthy, if he's good to go, which by all means it seems like that's the case, I think there's more value with keeping him than with letting him go. So, yeah,
I just think it's too early to tell. I think once you can kind of see how Trey Tucker is, once the pads come on, and let's say Trey Tucker has a great camp, you cannot sit a 3rd-round pick just waiting in the wings and say, hey, let this guy give up. Because if you're playing the slot position anyways, it's kind of based off lateral agility. And yes, you have to know the playbook, but I'm more in line that if it's all up to Trey Tucker, if Trey Tucker just balls out of control, I think the writing is on the wall that Hunter Renfrow gets moved. But it goes without saying, to your point, that's not to say I don't like Hunter Renfrow. I don't want him with the Raiders. That's another story. I do love Hunter Renfrow. I want him to stay with the Raiders, but again, it's not what I would do. It's what I actually see playing out. What is your take there? Like if Trey Tucker just balls out, has a great preseason, or let's say something crazy happens, and let's say the New Orleans Saints come calling, knock, 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 Derek Carr's here. He wants Hunter Renfrow. What are you going to do?
I mean, if you give up a 2 or a 3, I think that would be a home run for the Raiders.
Okay.
But if you want to give up a 5 or a 6 for Renfrow, I'd be like, you know what? We picked him with a 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
We'll just keep him. Like, if somebody comes up and makes an offer that the Raiders can't refuse, you run with it. If Trey Tucker turns out to be the second coming of Wes Welker or Danny Amendola. But at the same time, I've seen what Josh McDaniels has done with multiple guys with this similar skill set on the field at the same time. So if Josh McDaniels feels confident that he could use both of them, I think he will use both of them. So it's already after, it's June, 6th today? It's post June 1. There could be movements, and there hasn't been any on the Raiders roster. So we're still in wait and see mode.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a really interesting time, but it's never a dull moment with the Raiders. That's one thing that I found out very, very fast here in that.
Literally what I was talking with Vic. It's always entertaining. You always got something to talk about. That's why when people are like, football season doesn't start until August. I'm like, well, the NFL has done a great job making sure we talk about football 24/7, 365.
Right. Was that you texting me, dude?
I got my hands off my phone. I was checking the Dodgers score.
All right. Okay. Anyways, so getting back to it, there's certain things that we need to talk about and discuss. Jimmy Garoppolo. Did you see the Ian? Okay, so you saw the Ian Rappaport report.
Today?
The Ian Rappaport report. Did you see what he put out?
Today?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, so here's some ammo for you for Raider Nation Radio tomorrow. He put out a report that he's hearing that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be ready by the start of training camp. And there's a Twitter, it's on his Twitter, so you can go to Ian Rappaport and you can kind of see what he had
Rap
to say
sheet. Yeah.
Rap sheet. There you go. Rap sheet.
Nah, dude, I got home after minicamp and I took an hour and a half nap. I was like, I need to get some rest and then be able to jump on with Beast and get some work done.
I took a nap too, believe it or not. I took a nap before hopping on.
Yo, being in the sun in the heat for that long, it's like it drains your batteries for a bit.
I know.
Yeah, once I posted my video, I was like, all right, I'm good. I can go home and keep going with the day. But no.
The computer was literally on my laptop. I was on my laptop in bed, and I was gonna remember. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna tag you. That's why I tagged you with like what 40 minutes before the show. I fell asleep. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay.
We need to get some rest. No, but Rap Sheet. Then he said that everything he's hearing, it seems like he's gonna be ready for training camp.
Yeah,
dude. That's even if that's not the case, and he's ready for like preseason games or right for week 1. That report by Florio, who's very respected, who's a great reporter and does everything. And he reported it and it's true, but then just people putting on the red alarms.
But did he feel it was physical? Because in order to fail a physical, and I talked about it with another beat writer, if he failed his physical, he would have a failed physical designation, which means the team would not sign him. So the waiver replaced the physical, knowing that he needed the surgery, which is why they had to rework the contract, and which is why I asked I asked the Raiders on Jimmy Garoppolo's day that his presser got postponed and everyone was in the room. And I say, hey, look, is it contract related? Yes, right? They're touching up the final touches on the contract. So did he really physically take a physical or did they know that the physical was not going to pass, which is why they had the waiver in place, which is what Paul Gutierrez from ESPN reported.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like everybody, when you say Jimmy G, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Durability,
injuries. Yeah, so when this report comes out, 90% of the people in the Raider Nation, they're like, you see, we told you, why did you sign him? And even the worst part with when Florio said Garoppolo and his agent killed the Raiders' chances of picking anybody else, like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or Andy Dalton. I'm like, really, dude? I'm like, Darnold is the backup, and he might end up being the third stringer in San Francisco. Yeah. Dalton is the backup of the number 1 draft pick in Carolina. And Baker Mayfield, even though he had that magical game against the Raiders, it was pretty much the final drive that killed Las Vegas. He didn't do anything else during the game. I'm like, you're going to plead the case of these 3 guys to be like they screwed them. They screwed the Raiders because they weren't able to pick up these guys. I'm like, no. I'm like, Aaron Rodgers was going to be a long shot the whole way. Lamar Jackson was going to be a long shot the whole way. And then you were going to have to pay him everything to bring him out to Las Vegas. So that wasn't going to be a real option. So I'm like, it was either Jimmy G or Derek Carr. Yeah. And they weren't going to keep Derek Carr. Yeah. So it was Jimmy G the whole way for the silver and black.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I talked about, and people were like, "Oh no, you're just saying that because you're coming from San Francisco. San Francisco is not gonna be Jimmy G." And I was like, "No, man!" Like, and I tweeted those Beast receipts out there, and here we are. It turned out to be true. And here's the thing that I want the nation to understand is, no matter what you hear about Jimmy Garoppolo and his durability concerns, because it is concern. It is a huge concern. It's a concern for me. It's a concern for you.
It's an asterisk for everybody.
It's a huge F up if he is not durable. Like, that's not a secret. I'm not shying away from that. What I am saying is, and it's a big if he is healthy and he can play 17 games, he's going to be a quarterback where I think, as hard as the Raider Nation is on Jimmy Garoppolo for the team losing Derek Carr and bringing in a damaged good quarterback, they're going to flip the script so fast because they're going to see what Jimmy Garoppolo brings, not only on the field, but in the community. I worked with him both on the field, and I seen what he done in the community. And this guy is a winner in all aspects of life. I mean, you talk about a guy who, let's face it, the Bay Area media was all over him for whatever the case may be, right? And the fan base was split, just like with Derek Carr. The same dynamic coming over from 49ers I'm seeing with the Raiders when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, whatever the case may be. So I think in the end, we just have to give and let the process play itself out and then judge. And then judge to see whether or not Jimmy Garoppolo is the bridge quarterback, long-term quarterback, or the case may be. So, yeah. All right. But anyways, I know you got to get going. Thank you so much, Harry Ruiz, for hopping on. And again, go follow my guy. It's all posted in YouTube right here. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow Not La Nacion Raider also on Twitter. And then also he'll be on Raider Nation Radio tomorrow. And Harry, go ahead and tomorrow when the link, if you have the podcast link after it's posted, send it to me and I'll share it up.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we got to have you on one of these days. But tomorrow, I know you're going to be out there hustling, working hard at headquarters. So do your thing. We'll hear your questions during the press conferences that we air live on Raider Nation Radio as well. So tune in. JT The Brick Show, noon to 2, Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m. online. If you're in Vegas on the radio, or you can listen to it on the Raiders app anywhere in the world.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Harry. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, my guy. Appreciate it.
Much love, brother. Take care.
Right.
See you soon.
All right. That was my guy, Harry Ruiz, everyone. Good vibes. Good vibes. Boogie says, I just hope he can play, as in Jimmy Garoppolo, 13 plus games. If he plays more than that, better than expected. You know what? That is a true fact. That is a true fact. All right. We've been on for 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds. Smash the like button if you guys like what we bring to the table on the daily here in the dark side of Beastwriter. We have 58 likes right now. Let's get those likes up, guys. Help me out. And again, a like is free 99. Also, if you'd like to support me through a super chat or a super sticker and you like having these guests on, look, it takes a lot of time and energy. As Harry Ruiz pointed out, we grind it out at Raiders headquarters on the daily. I mean, this is our 9 to 5. We don't do this for fun. We do this for a living. So again, if you guys like the vibe that I bring with all my 5 podcasts that we have here on YouTube, and again, you guys like me engaging with you on this platform, answering your questions from a beat writer perspective, because again, I'm a beat writer, and you guys want to support me here on YouTube, you guys can do that through a super chat or a super sticker here on YouTube. Also, you guys can send me a Venmo donation. I've been getting those all week, and again, continue to get those on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much for everyone for doing that. And again, the link is in the description box below. And also, mods, if you can post my Venmo link as well, that would be a huge help so people can try to find it, because I know people were hitting me up on DMs on Instagram saying, what's my Venmo? And so I think if you guys do that, every so often, don't want to spam people in here, but let them know. Also, you guys don't even have to do that. It's in the description box of every video. I make it very simple for you. If I'm all my social media, whether I'm on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube, it's at Beastwriter. Or you guys want to send me a Venmo donation, you guys can do that also in the description box below. All right. Oh, man. Javier Ramirez says, hey, Beast Nation, it's my daughter's Layla's 2nd birthday today. Can she get a shout out? She's a big Raider fan and watching. Thanks. Happy birthday, Layla. Happy 2nd birthday to you from everyone here in the dark side of Beastwriter. And again, that's awesome. I'm glad you're watching. And Javi, you are doing a phenomenal job raising your daughter to be part of the Raider Nation and part of the Beast Nation. So again, Layla, happy birthday. May all your wishes come true on your special day. And that's cool. I mean, I get goosebumps right now just knowing that. And I tell people this all the time. There's a lot of kids watching this, all ages. Obviously, she's 2 years old. She probably doesn't know what's going on right now. But there are a lot of kids that watch me on YouTube, and they love the live streams and they love the vibe that I bring. And I think that's what it's about, like bridging the community together, and I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day, because when my time is up, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. My legacy that I want to leave is, did I come into this world and make this world a better place than when I came into it, right? Did I leave it in a better spot than I came into it? And that's the whole vibe of creating a better tomorrow here in the dark side of Beastwriter. And hopefully you guys can kind of learn something from that. Because again, there's too much hate in this world. We can talk about football all we want, but I think there's life lessons to be learned every single day in your life. When people talk about, being the best version of yourself, what does that look like? And for me, it's almost like this. Like, I want to be the best version of myself, but what can I do to leave a legacy today to where if I wasn't here tomorrow, you guys can always keep with you something that you learned from, and can kind of say, oh man, like Beast talked about that, being the best version of himself. What does that look like? Being disciplined, dedicated, determined, right? Being structured in your grind, right? Not listening to, outside noise and outside factors, home of the good vibes only. Um, being trustworthy, having integrity, being loyal, all those different things that we embody here in the dark side of Beastwriter. So it goes well and above and beyond what we talk about on the football field, or how this player is doing, or how this player is performing. So good vibes all the way around. And again, I wouldn't be here without all of you guys in my corner. So it's one of those things where, I wouldn't be in the position I am today, right? And again, it's crazy to think that I'm coming over from the Niners now with the Raiders, and then here we are. And this is like my second guard, and I love it. I love it. I get questions asked. And in fact, here's a conversation I had with one of my good friends. All right. So actually he's a family friend. So I had front row season tickets at the Niner games dating back to Candlestick, and the season tickets next to me over at Candlestick was owned by the Arguello family. And so Thomas Arguello actually worked with the Raiders. His brother actually had a tryout at the Foreigners local parade with the Niners. Anyways, they're childhood friends of mine. And I just had a conversation with his father yesterday, who reached out to me on social media and said, hey man, I didn't know you were with the Raiders. Now that's really cool. Like, how you liking it? So, no matter where you start or what team you root for, when you're growing up, as long as you bring the good vibes only and everyone's respectful, like, think about it. Like, if someone was to ask me, are you a Niner fan? No, I'm not. I'm not a Niner fan. I think I made that executive decision once I started covering the team as a beat writer. You have to distance yourself from being a beat writer. I think those are two different things. And if you can't, it's one thing to root for the team, but if you're going to step inside that zone of being a beat writer and being objective instead of subjective, you really got to walk that fine line and say, hey, okay, I was once a fan, but now this is my 9 to 5. And so that's the difference here. Do I want the Raiders to do well? Absolutely. If the Raiders play the Niners, who do I want to win? I want the Raiders to win, because when they do well, I do well. So in that regard, obviously, I'll going to be rooting for the Raiders, just like I was with the Niners, even as a beat writer. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. And again, the Niner fans still stick with me. So, shout out to Jason. I know you're watching as we speak. And yeah, good times over there at Candlestick Park. Who, by the way, I didn't know that Thomas is now with UCLA and Chip Kelly. Daniel Kent says, yep, all my kids call the color black, Raiders black. Ooh, that's dope. Boogie says, if you're not learning every day, you're not growing. Strive to be better than you were yesterday. Yep, that is very true. That is very, very true. Darnell Sanders says, great show, Beast. Thank you so much, Darnell. I like seeing you pop in. I like everyone popping in, but no, getting back to Layla, happy birthday, Layla, for your second birthday. I hope everything goes well for you. And again, all your wishes come true on your special day. Hopefully you get all the presents that you want, all the toys that you want. But that's pretty cool to have a father who is a loyal DLB family member here. And it says, hey man, can you get, and this is what it's all about. Like I said, man, like we can talk about the questions I ask at the press conference. We can talk about my predictions and how they cross-check in the Beast receipts from real time to hindsight. We could talk about all that, but this is what makes my job worthwhile. You cannot buy this type of engagement, right? Like, this is what it's all about. And again, I am so fortunate to have the Raider Nation behind me, because let's face it, I'm losing subscribers every single day I post a live stream about the Raiders or any type of video about the Raiders. Because again, these Niner fans are getting upset. The loyal ones are sticking with me, but we lost well over, man, if I'm doing the math correctly, I think we lost over 4,000 followers. No, more than that, probably 8,000 followers on social, 8 to 12,000 followers, depending on which platform we're on. So yeah. So people are like, hey, Are you going back to the Niners? I'm like, no, I don't know where that rumor came from. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the team. No. After I moved here, no. I'm staying here for the long haul. But no. Layla, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day today on June 6th. Javier Ramirez says, thank you, Beast and Nation. Put a big smile on her face. Much love. Hey, mahalo. And again, Layla, that's awesome. Look, Javi, maybe I don't know where you're from, but maybe we can meet up too. Like, I'm down to meet up all you guys. A lot of the people, and it's funny, I keep talking about this, but I'm not afraid to meet up with people. Like, that's crazy. My mom calls me nuts. My sister calls me crazy. She said there's one word to describe you. She was asked, like, how would you describe your brother? And she's like, crazy. Like, he's crazy in a good way, like not in a bad way, not like psycho crazy, but crazy because like he does random, like he trusts everyone. Like he just, yeah, sure. Literally don't trust everyone, obviously. But in her words, she says, I'm not afraid to meet people and go out of my way to meet people. I guess that's a little hot vibes. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So it'd be cool to meet you, Javi. I don't know if you're in the SoCal area. I don't know if you're in the Bay Area. I don't know where you're from. But if you're ever down in Las Vegas, we could be down to meet up. Like D Menace here is a mod. Met him from YouTube over at the M Resort and Casino. Him and Tanya became good friends now. DK, we're going to set up a time with DK, who is also a mod in here. And I'm going to meet him. Met him here on YouTube. A lot of my good friends actually came from YouTube. And again, how crazy like, oh, Facebook, right? Or Instagram. Usually those are more personal. Me, I'm like, oh, all social media platforms. Everywhere. It's all good. It's all good. But no, it'd be good to meet all you guys, actually. You know, whether it be Boogie over here. He said, you're stuck with us, Beast. You're a part of the dark side for life now. I appreciate that. And yes, once a Raider, always a Raider. I'm picking up on the lingo here. I get it. Commitment to excellence, just win, baby. The autumn wind. I get it. I love it. Oh, man. Oh, Javi says, I'm in Central California, Selma. I'll be at a game this year. I'll definitely see. Yeah, hey, do me a favor, Javi. Shoot me a email. My email is in, well, shoot. It's up here on YouTube in the description box. There should be my email tied there. Shoot me an email. It's at Beastwriter NFL. Actually, I'll do this right now for you guys. If you guys want to email me, you guys can do so. That thing be cool. So I'm going to shoot my email right now so you guys can go ahead and email me. BeastwriterNFL@gmail.com. That didn't even really populate how I wanted it. BeastwriterNFL@gmail.com. That's where you guys can email me. It's also in the description box and also in the about section here on YouTube. Shoot me an email and I will go ahead and get back to you and hopefully we can meet up. A lot of the people here in the DOB actually go to these games and they want to meet up, they want to take pictures, they want me to sign things. I'm definitely down to do it. I've been doing it my first year covering the silver and black. And again, if you guys saw the DOB giveaways that I do, and again, I get so many on game days. I get so many DMs and stuff like that. I don't really hear what's going on when I come out of the tunnel, but I promise you, I will get back to you. So that's why I'm like, I'm making a concerted effort this year because a lot of you guys travel from South Dakota, Oklahoma, all over the world, New York, Chicago. So you guys come to this game for that one game and it sucks. Like, oh man, I wanted to meet you. I was screaming your name. I was yelling Beast, but I couldn't hear and they're so loud. And so anyways, I want to meet everyone here in the DOB. If you guys make a trip, even if you don't go to a game, and if you're out there just tailgating or just trying to feel the vibe, always down to meet up. And even on the weekend, like on a Saturday, I met up with D Menace. Like on a Saturday, it wasn't even game day. I think it was on a Saturday or Thursday or Friday, or it was actually, I think it was during the week, the work week. And I was like, yeah, man, like right after I got done, at the office at Raiders headquarters, like, yeah, let's meet up. Let's meet up. I'm down. I was actually going to go work out. Actually went to go meet Dennis and yeah, a lot of you guys. Just all good vibes. And that's why we run giveaways too. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We got going on. Jack Kenna, how you doing? He's a salute beast. Jack Kenna, I wanted to ask you, a couple of mods vetted you in the vetting process and they said, hey, let's make Jack Kenna a mod. Are you okay with that? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he should be a mod? I said, yeah, let's make Jack Kenna a mod if he wants to be a mod. So Jack Ken, if you want to be a mod, you're in. Just let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a salute. But yeah, holla at your boy. Let me know, and we'll make you a mod right away. All right, we've been on for 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 17 seconds. If you guys like the vibe that I bring on the daily, be sure to hit that like button. There's 28 of you guys watching right now. Also, if you want to send me a super chat or super sticker and like to support me, or if you want to be given a shout out, you guys can do that through a super chat or super sticker. And I'll be sure to get those questions out to you if you guys have a question for me. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Or if you have any other questions, I want to get back to you. Jack Can says, Beast, thank you. Absolutely 100. All right, we're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. DK, I think DK is right now modding. But yeah, well, let's go ahead and make that happen. Let's make you a mod. That'd be dope. That would be dope. But again, I just want to give a special shout out to those who are in the chat today. We had Samoan Raider in here dropping his dimes in here and support, and I really love that. So if you guys don't follow Samoan Raider, I'm pretty sure all you guys do. He's the #1 YouTuber here on Raiders content as far as a content creator goes. So does a really good job. Love Samoan Raider. He has the Oos Nation podcast. We put that up here. Mr. Fitz, go follow him. And all good vibes only. But anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in. We had Harry Ruiz on. And again, we're going to go ahead and leave no stone unturned coming back tomorrow on our Blitz pickup, where we highlight somebody who is not a beat writer, but someone who is in the Raider content creator verse and universe, I should say. And again, I like having other people on because, again, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to get another fresh perspective, another flavor other than my own. And again, look, it's all home of the good vibes only. If you have good vibes, you're going to be on. If you don't have good vibes, you're not going to be on. Just joking. It goes above and beyond just having good vibes. But you guys get the picture. We're going to be having more people on and leaving no stone unturned. We're checking off all the boxes, as Max Crosby would say. Checking off all the boxes. Checking them off. Check. Check. Let me write this down. Oh, man. Oh, Jack Can says, just curious, who are my brothers that said that? Everyone, all the mods said this. D Menace said this. Daniel Kim said this. Everyone said, hey, let's make Jack Can a mod. What are your thoughts, Beast? I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because, you've been here supporting since day one. Again, it's a vetting process, right? It's a vetting process. So if they're vouching for you and I trust their judgment, I got to trust them, right? Just like when J. Ziegler, he can't be at 10,000 places at once. So he has to trust his scouting department that the information that he's getting, they're telling him great intel. He's trusting their intel because his butt's on the line because they're the ones that are giving him the voice, or it's their voice that he's listening to, and ultimately it's his decision. So again, same thing applies here, right? I may be the face of the franchise, or the face of the DOB, but it's actually the driving factors of the DOB family, right? Beast Nation here. Whether it be you, Jack Can, Daniel Kim, Dennis, whether it be Javier Ramirez, whether it be Boogie, whether it be Darnell Sanders, Yaha, it's a lot. Chris Gang, Raider Dangerfield. It could be any one of you guys that are in here, right? That we have on the data. It could be Mika from Germany, who, by the way, sent me a PayPal donation. I don't know how he found my PayPal. That was pretty cool. But thank you so much, Mika from Germany, for the PayPal donation. I really appreciate it. Just want to give you a shout out. Got that last night. And again, different time zones, but Mika from Germany. We have fans in Germany. The DLB is growing. We're growing internationally. We're now in Germany. We're already in Japan. We're already in China, Korea too. Crazy. Good vibes only all the way around. All the way around. And again, be sure to turn on that bell notifications. You got to turn on that bell notifications once you subscribe to the channel. That's first. Number one is subscribe to the channel. Number two is turn on that bell notification so you get notified when we go live and upload content. So again, you're not going to want to miss a beat from the beat. If you haven't watched my videos of today's Locker Room Pulse interviews, please be sure to do so. Again, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. But before I do that, I want to challenge you guys to watch all the replays on the videos because, again, how we're going to build up the DOB family, how we're going to continue striving and push forward and being better today than we were yesterday is, again, I'm counting on the DOB to watch all my replay videos. Why? It does two things. One, it pushes the algorithm to other like-minded nation like yourselves as a recommended video when I post content. Two, it makes me money, right? So again, this is my 9 to 5. If you guys can't support me through a super chat or a super sticker, which which we didn't get one today, but that's okay. We got a lot of likes, got a lot of engagement, but more importantly than that, the next step of that is watching the replays on the videos. So if you miss something or if you have a question, we cover a lot of ground. I mean, we've been on for an hour and 24 minutes and 18 seconds answering all your questions. Every single question we answered, right? So you think about all the questions that we had, and then on top of that, all the content that me and Harry Ruiz talked about on today's mandatory minicamp, and then now diverging into the locker room pulse interviews and answering those questions in the comments section. And then on top of that, formulating the articles that are in the community page. And on top of that, that's just one social media platform. And then double downing on those gains on Instagram and an Instagram post, which you see on the IG stories. If you go to my Instagram, it's in the description box below at Beastwriter. Or if you see it on Twitter through my tweets, right? My quick slant tweets that I put out. And again, we talk about the teasers on fast forwarding into the live streams and what we're going to be discussing, so you guys kind of have an idea of where this live stream is going on the Pick 6 at 6. A lot of different layers to this, but again, I do it all for you. I could easily just put up an article and call it quits, but I don't. I like grinding it out the hard way. I like doing it the right way for the DOB, right? I can't speak for anyone else. This is how I like to bring the flavor, right? Like engaging with you guys. And again, when we do that, you get personal interaction with guys like Javi Ramirez, right? Who was in here. And again, his daughter's 2 years old and she's watching this. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me to think that a 2-year-old is watching my live streams. And again, good vibes only, right? We have people of all ages watching our stuff. And I think that's kind of the vibe I want to bring to the table is how hard is it to kind of twist a fan who's locally living here in Vegas to be a Raider fan when they're not a Raider fan? Trust me, my fitness gains come into play. Trust me. You ask anyone at EOS, a lot of them are Green Bay Packers fans, Steelers fans, Cowboys fans, and you name it, right? Some Philadelphia Eagles fans. I saw, all these young kids who go to Liberty, Coronado, Bishop Gorman, they're all watching here at the DOB. Why? Because they like my fitness gains. They want to know about functional strength. They want to know about strength training. And then they watch the obviously play football, and the Raiders play here in Vegas. So now they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Divine Diablo. Oh, how do you get big? What are your thoughts on that? You see where football and fitness come into play. That's what you see here in the DOB. So this is the choice of flavor that you're going to get here from me in the dark side of Beastwriter. I hope you guys like this flavor. Again, tell all your family and friends about the DOB and the Beast Nation flavor that we're striving to build here on YouTube. And again, we're going to leave no stone unturned. We're going to be back on tomorrow for another Blitz pickup, talking all things silver and black when it comes to mandatory minicamp day 2. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in to today's live stream. And again, if you're watching the replay and want to send super thanks as a support for me and the channel and the vibe that I bring, not just on today's channel or live stream, but on a daily basis, right? I do this every single day. So if you guys want to support me, you guys like my work, and you guys have the means to do so, please do so through a super chat, super sticker, or a Venmo donation. And it's in the description box below here on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I had a lot of fun. Again, I hope you guys had a lot of fun and you learned something. That's it for today. Take care. We'll be back on tomorrow at 6 p.m. live stream, talking all things silver and black. Have a good night. It's 7:28. I'm hopping off, checking out from Raiders headquarters just down the street is your guy, Beastwriter. Take care. Have a good night, Beastwriter. Out.